Brought to you by the Coalition to Save the Boombox. Major funding is provided by the National Endowment for the Humanities. Corporate funding provided by Polaroid Camera Company and the Atari Corporation of America. Generous funding and production support provided by Rehab Media, with additional support from Anatomy Creative, and by the financial support of viewers like you. November 1984, Harlem, New York. The first beats of the boombox's death knell were dropped, but only on one pair of ears at a time. Sony's Walkman, having surreptitiously arrived in the hull of a Japanese merchant vessel, washed up on America's commercial shores. Its tendril-like headphones invaded the ear canals of their user, shutting out the beats of the boombox.
These personal listening devices just ran amok. You know, in a lot of ways, the rise of the Walkman mirrored the increasing selfishness of the average American. It wasn't long before you'd see people walking down the streets with these headphones shoved in their ears. You'd see them on the bus, at school, at work. They were everywhere.
Boomboxes are social, period. You're all bobbing your head to the same beat with your brothers, your sisters, your friends. It was like one of the strongest social adhesives we had.
But throughout the 80s and early 90s, the boombox still thrived in remote urban outposts. The portable discman and mini-disc players were genetically flawed and ill-suited to survive the rigors of the modern musical landscape. As such, they did little to threaten the boombox's place in human culture.
If I had to choose a date, it would be October 23rd, 2001. And fittingly, it started with an I.
The Apple iPod was, and continues to be, the most formidable threat the boombox has ever faced. With its sleek design, lightweight, and libraries holding thousands of songs, the ease of tuning out one's environment became increasingly seductive.
And these earbuds were so tiny, you couldn't even see them. I remember it was 2002. My son was leaving for his first day of school. I yelled at him, "Hey, don't forget your lunch." But he couldn't hear me. I ran up to him, I shook him, I thought he'd gone deaf. It was then that I noticed these tiny tic-tac-sized earbuds in his ears. It was an experience I wouldn't wish on anyone.
Today, the boombox survives, only in small pockets throughout the world, looked after by only a handful of hobbyists and enthusiasts, their once powerful voices largely cut off from the cultural conversation. Experts estimate that if drastic action is not taken within the next couple of years, the boombox population could be wiped out entirely, bringing a tragic end to a symbiotic partnership that has existed for millennia.
Save the boombox. Well, first, get those damn earbuds out of your head. The boombox can only exist where people are willing to share with each other. That's the whole point. Hell, you learned that in preschool. The boombox without people to listen to it, take care of it, and use it responsibly means nothing. It's a device, sure, but it's a symbol too.
Yes, well, much attention has been paid to the American brand of individualism, the cult of individualism. But we as Europeans, we have a stake in this as well. We cannot simply stand by while the cult of I sucks what beauty remains out of our culture. We must stand up. We must save the boombox and save ourselves. It starts with the individual.
Look, I don't have my head so far in the dirt that I can't say which way the wind is blowing. Save the boombox? Look around you. The death of the boombox is just a side effect of the way technology is driving us apart. Do you hear what I'm saying? Do I need to tweet it to you? Maybe I can make it my status update and you'll get it!
Is the death of the boombox a referendum on the boombox or on ourselves? And if it is ourselves, what can we take away from this tragic turn? Save a boombox if you can, but the legacy of the boombox is communication and interaction. It is loving each other, listening to each other, and being a part of each other's lives. In short, The boombox is us at our best. For more information on how you can help save the boombox, visit www.savetheboombox.com.